Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your brother in the struggle coming right back at you once again. I'm going to make this nice and sweet. It's going to be a short video. Now, first, once again, as I always say, for the most part, before I start a video, I always say the following. Say the following words. Are you ready for the truth? Can you handle the truth? And the reason that I say this, ladies and gentlemen, the reason I keep repeating this is because the reality is that I show you and that I prove to you here on this channel of mine here on YouTube, it's just too hard for people to accept, much less understand. But for their own sake, but for their own survival, they have to listen not to what I say here necessarily, but what I can prove here. Because, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, the proof is in the pudding. Never mind what an imperfect human beings here on a YouTube channel say to you. Because remember, we are all sinners. We are all dying every day. You understand? So please, in fact, I'm pretty sure that I have done more evil things on this earth than most of you have. Besides killing, of course. Because that is something that I would never do. In fact, when I was in the United States Marine Corps, and I was taking my training in South Carolina, Parris Island, South Carolina, back in the 1980s, 1985, to be exact. Ladies and gentlemen, that's when I came to terms with, where I came to terms with my true self, with my real self. And I started questioning, am I ready to do this? To kill another human being because some president-in-chief or whatever tells you to? Because basically, ladies and gentlemen, when you become a soldier, you have signed up to be a hired killer, a hired assassin for the United States of America. And I couldn't handle it anymore, so I left. So, having said this, let's keep going. So that's why I say these things. Can you handle this truth? You know, are you ready for the truth? Because this is it's too big for you to understand. Just like evil itself is. That's why evil sometimes is not believable. That's why people don't believe in the devil. Okay, because Hollywood, Disney, has made it out to be that it is a joke, that it's all fake, that we actually create our own demons. It's sad, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm gonna touch on some of America's historical atrocities. America has been traumatized, ladies and gentlemen. And the results are everywhere. Okay? The chickens have come home to roost. They're no longer coming home to roost. They're here. And they are destroying America by design. And remember how the devil comes at you. He doesn't come to you and say, hey, excuse me, I am the devil and I want to be your friend. Of course not. Of course not. He comes to you with a lie, just like he came to our first mother, Eve. Let me give you an example. Climate change, formerly known as what? Global warming. Global warming. You understand? All of this is crap, ladies and gentlemen, and they know it. But since these two-legged demons, the powers that be, men of renown upon this earth, know that they have the people, they have worked the humanity psychologically to such an extent that they're taking over. That's why they keep talking about the New World Order. I actually feel bad for them, ladies and gentlemen, because in the delusioned vision of the New World Order or of their work economic reset, ladies and gentlemen, in their delusioned, evilly delusioned reality, they will think that they will reach peace on earth, and that everybody will be happy, and that you will have nothing and you'll be happy. That's why they tell you, right? You see how psychologically they got the people? And they know that people are going to revolt, but there are ways to revolt. If you revolt by destroying your own community, like they did in the LA riots, remember? And like they did in Minneapolis, the powers that be love that. In fact, they even reward the people that actually caused all of that. And I don't want to hear that it was a police officer. No. They know how to push buttons. Remember, the devil knows the human creation better than we know ourselves. That's why he can work us. See, but when you on this side, the right side of God, the devil cannot touch you. Because he knows that you know him. See, when you know the enemy, you only win half. So when you know yourself, you win half the battle. When you know yourself 50% of the time, okay? If you know yourself 50% of the time, that's great. That's only half. But if you know your enemy 50% of the time, which actually becomes 100%, then no one can touch you, you see. Especially, and that's guaranteed, especially when the creator of life, when the creator of everything, of all creation upon this earth and within earth, okay? Who can be against you, like it says in Romans, when God is with you? If God is with me, who can be against me? You understand? This is a faith-based path. But like the Apostle Paul says, remember, faith without works is meaningless. It's nothing. So love thy brethren as thyself. Love thy neighbors as thyself. Love the Creator with all your heart and all your mind. Okay? Live the 10 Commandments which are basically, that's what the Ten Commandments are composed of those two, uh, main, because if you love your neighbor as thyself, if you love your human fellow as yourself, ladies and gentlemen, then you will not kill, which is another commandment of the Ten Commandments, is which one of them, thou shalt not kill. If you love your human brethren, you will not steal, you will not envy, you will not commit adultery. You understand? It's beautiful. Anyway, but let's get to the meat of what I'm about to tell you. Are you ready for the truth? Please, ladies and gentlemen, keep an open mind. And once again, please take a look at some of the links that I will share with you, which will prove my point. Okay, so the clown shows continues. The clown show continues in America, and its south road to its own demise. America has been the devil's darling. And in fact, that is exactly what she has always been. Here's a breakdown of the evil that this peace, that this beauty, this devil's darling, this piece of land called America has done. All the atrocities, all the genocides, starting from the, I'm gonna keep it short, from the 1600s. What happened to the Native Americans who, millions upon millions of Native Americans were killed and were robbed of their land. By the way, the Native Americans belong to the tribe of God, G-A-D. Okay. 1, slavery. Slavery, putting the black men to slavery. But hey, listen to this. Before the black man was put into slavery, remember, in America, our people were being killed. Look what happened to the Aztec Empire with Hernán Cortés. Thousands and millions of people died, starting in 1522. So let's keep going. So slavery, which started back in 1619, when Plymouth was already here, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you got to understand that slavery was part of a betrayal, because remember, people will always betray one another. When they see that their only self-preservation is about money, well, they will even sell their own mom. It's sad, ladies and gentlemen, but there's no need. There was no need for that if we only would have kept a good relationship with our Creator. So what came first? Slavery? No. It was the slavery of the Native American Indians, which belonged to the tribe of God. Now, slavery, America only did 5% of slavery, ladies and gentlemen. The other ones were done by the Arabs. This is a spiritual war, ladies and gentlemen, against God's people. Which are Yeah, the tribe of Judah, the same tribe of Christ came out of. Yeah, the Negroes. But that was not the original color, you see. Because even the color of the skin, okay? That's why black people are everywhere. You go to Brazil, they're there. You go to Puerto Rico, they're there. You go to Cuba, they're there. You go to Dominican Republic, they're there. They definitely are in Levi's, the tribe of Levi, which is in Haiti, in Mexico, which is the tribe of Issachar, in Honduras, Central America, you name it. They're in Australia. Black people are everywhere because they spread it. Why? Hey, they had everything and they lost everything. If not, just take a look at what's happening in South Africa. A nation being governed by what? 3 million white people governing over 24 million people. Black. You understand? So the original color, even anybody can tell you that was the brown skin. But God doesn't judge you according to the color of your skin, you see. God will judge you, and that's how he would judge the whole world, is what have you done with this life? What have you done with your life? How did you treat your brother man or your sister, okay? Your sister woman. And that's what works means. Faith without works is meaningless, and that's exactly what it means. But let's keep going. Number 3, Hiroshima and Nagasaki in World War II. The first country to use atomic bombs, the United States of America, the devil's darling. Instantly, thousands of people die. Yeah, it brought the war to an end. Yes, but you know what? Look at what price it came to an end. And it was meant to end. In fact, it's in the Bible where it talks about Revelation chapter 13. It tells you there that people were going to be so astonished to what they were going to see, that this second beast, which is the United States, was going to even bring fire from the sky to earth. Well, how can it bring, except with the bombs and atomic bomb and nuclear weapons? But here we go. So Hiroshima and Nagasaki, people were going to their jobs. Kids were going to work, to school. People were going, and all of a sudden, what was the name of that plane? Enola Gay, whatever? Enola Gay. He came, and dropped, and he destroyed, right there, right where they were standing. He destroyed many Japanese, countless thousands of lives in a moment's notice. That was the birth of the nuclear age. The monster that looks at the human race and says, should I destroy you all? But of course, that's not going to happen, regardless of all the threats that you hear. Number 4, the Korean War, which ended back in 1953, I believe, no? And that's why you got North Korea and South Korea. America was involved there. Then the Vietnam War. $60,000 U.S. human beings, soldiers, dead. Two and a half million Viet Congs and innocent people dead. Even their weather was affected by weather modification. That's why I laugh when these people talks about climate change. Well, we only have days, but yet look what they do. Look, I mean, do you see the last meeting in Sweden? 1,500 personal jets. But they care. They want you to believe the lie about climate change. And people are swallowing this thing up because people have already been worked. I mean, these are smart devils, huh? Aren't they? Let's keep going. The Iraq War. Killing innocent people for what? Really? Blaming them for something that they didn't know, based upon a lie. That's what the devil does. That's what the Bush family are. Remember, they are Freemasons. I've sent you the links. They are Freemasonic creatures. Skull and Bones. 322 from Yale University. Ladies and gentlemen, so he lied. And a million three Iraqis dead. You understand? Which, in fact, 9/11 was brought by the United States upon itself with a false flag too big to be believed. You understand what I'm saying? Now you see why I tell you? Now you see the reason why I tell you, are you ready for the truth? Because see, they make you believe, and you believe that lie, that 9/11 was done by, man, I wish I would have been one of those pilots on those airplanes that really didn't exist and never happened. Ladies and I wish, because if you're gonna kidnap me using plastic knives, you better start using it, because I will fight you. Okay, we're gonna crash into the South Tower. Come on, people. You are smarter than this. The most protected building in the world, the Pentagon. I call it the devil's building, because that's what the shape is. In fact, all of Washington, D.C. is. Anyway, it's a Freemasonic. That's why it's called the District of Columbia. Columbia stemmed from what? From ancient Babylon. Remember? Have you seen the all-seeing eye in what it's called? Columbia Broadcasting System? She's the sun goddess. She has so many names. I mean, you got Easter. You got Diana. She has so many names, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, and her name was Semiramis. And that's why people celebrate Christmas. That's where Christmas has come from. See, people like me, ladies and gentlemen, we are a danger. We are a menace to the devil's plan. Because the minute that you start listening to these videos, then there's no going back. Even if you unsubscribe and you think that I'm crazy, oh, this guy needs a life. He's crazy. Okay. Then God will not be interested in you when you come before him in judgment. You're going to say, well, yeah, the God didn't explain it to me. He didn't explain it to you. In fact, that young man was taking a lot of time. Sometimes it would take like an hour and something, talking. And we know how the human mind works. Do you think that somebody's actually gonna see this whole video? Of course not. The human mind gets bored, especially if it's the truth. But if he's talking about some political gossiping or the Kardashians, then of course. By the way, what are the Kardashians doing now? They are advertising food being prepared in a lab. Ladies and gentlemen, meat. It is sad. A lady that started her career in pornography is being used, of course, for evil purposes. Anyway, let's keep going. Abortions that were passed back in 1976, Roe versus Wade. How many millions of kids have died? And even before Roe versus Wade. So you see, ladies and gentlemen, and then the cherry on top. In fact, let me, because then it's going to take too long. So let us go to Ephesians chapter 5. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 11. Look what it says, 11. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them, which means rather expose them. That's what it means. In other words, it says, and have no fellowship with unfruitful works of darkness. With the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them. Well, that's what I do. And that's why I say, are you ready for the truth? Are you ready to understand what I expose here? Or are you going to still, are you want to be under the blue pill influence? Like in the movie The Matrix? It's up to you. So that's my goal right here. That's what I do. I expose. In fact, the tech world, like Facebook, YouTube, and other platform, ladies and gentlemen, can no longer ignore that the ways of government is a danger to their own existence. Financial, look what is happening in America right now, by design. Now you may say, well, Ruben, corporate America and the tech world is part of it. Okay, but guess what? They have been lied to. They themselves have been lied to. Some of them are already waking up. Okay? Target, or some people call it Target, they're still asleep. Walmart is kind of waking up. Netflix is kind of waking up. Okay? There are a lot of companies that are waking up from the woke mentality. You go woke, you go broke. It's amazing that they call it woke. Woke from what? When they have been put asleep. They have been, in fact, let me keep going. And then the cherry on top is to have these leaders in this present moment in America doing such great evil, clownish things that the devil is laughing its butt off. Why? Easy. Okay? Like the mayor of San Francisco. Have you heard? And I'm going to send you the links from news reports. Did you see what did you hear what she's saying? Now, all of a sudden, she's worried about homelessness, but only to transgender people. You understand? These people are nuts. But that's just another word for saying that what I've been saying here, they are evil possessed. But don't call them that, because then they will call you crazy. Let's keep going. It's like a drunk. Don't tell a drunk that he's a drunk. He will say, I can quit whenever I want. You crazy. See, people live in denial. If you don't think that this is the beginning of the end for America, then I cannot help you, except pray for you. America has been distracted by design. She has been spiritually poisoned with its Christian institution, especially the one that she preserved back in the 1700s. Okay? Because remember, in the going into the 1800s, hey, that's when America was coming up, remember? 1776. 1800. Okay, so the Declaration of Independence, wasn't that written in the 1800s? What was it, 1888? Of course, America has never been independent, but I'm just saying. So America has been distracted, spiritually poisoned with its Christian institution, making you believe that America has its roots in Christendom. That's a lie, because you're looking at the first beast, which America preserved in 1798, when Napoleon Bonaparte took away the Roman Catholics' power for 131 years old, which she got back through Mussolini back in 1921 in the Lateral Treaty. Do your research, people. She has definitely been psychologically worked, emotionally exploited, it's no doubt, by the politicians and by the religious leaders. Financially robbed. I told you that 1913, the creation of the Federal Reserve and the IRS in the same year, 1913. IRS, I think, was created back in February of 1913. Federal Reserve was pushed through Congress while people were away celebrating their pagan holidays of Christmas. See, the devil is very opportunistic. He gets to work when you're not looking. He gets to work when you're asleep. See, the devil never sleeps. So she was financially robbed. And that has always been the tendencies. That's why now she owes $30 trillion, which she knows she's never going to pay. America is done, ladies and gentlemen. She's owned by an association of bankers. 6, twisted beyond recognition. America doesn't know what it is. She doesn't know what hit her. She doesn't know whether she's a boy, she's a man, whether she's lost. Seven, satanically conquered and corrupted in every way imaginable. Naive to the point of thinking that the government is the answer to their naive society to the point. America is composed of a naive people to the point of thinking that the government is the answer to their problem, when in reality is the opposite is. America creates problems so that you will meet them. It's like the doctor. A doctor would never give you the cure for a disease because it would not solve it it would not serve it would not benefit him. Matthew 26. Matthew 26. Matthew 26, verse 52. Then said Christ unto him, put up, well, let me start on verse 51 because I don't want you to get lost. And behold, one of them which was with Christ stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck a servant of the high priest and smote off his ear. Well, ladies and gentlemen, those were the people, your own people, giving you up to the government to be killed. 52. Then Christ said unto him, put up again thy sword into his place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. So, ladies and gentlemen, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, and that's exactly what is happening to America. America has killed so many people, especially the innocents, through human sacrifice and satanic rituals. I mean, look at the Bohemian Grove, ladies and gentlemen. Matthew 12. And then we are done. Matthew 12. Matthew 12, verse 25. Can you believe that some people are actually giving credit to Abraham Lincoln for saying that when in reality it was Christ that said this? I mean, it's unbelievable. We honor men more than Christ. We honor men more than God, because Christ never asked to be honored. He just asked to be believed. Because once you believe, then you start living the godly way. Hallelujah. So, Matthew 12, verse 25. And Christ knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. Now let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Americans, my fellow brethren, my fellow human beings, which is the reason why I make this video, because I love you all. And I know that someday we will all be together, not upon heaven, here on earth. Because God is going to judge people here. Remember what we were created for. The purpose of our creation was to what? For God to multiply through us. And the devil has resisted that and has fought that all the way since the beginning. Okay? So, that's always been the fight. It is a spiritual fight, not a physical one. Okay? So, it is what it is. That is exactly where we stand. America is done. She is done. She is the devil's darling. And she's being destroyed. And people think, the government will help us, right? No, they won't. They are the cause of your problems, of your miseries, because you have believed them. They can work you. Just like the devil. Just like when you give yourself to the devil, you will be possessed. And let me say something real quick in Spanish. So, para mis hermanos y hermanas allá afuera, en creación y en esta lucha espiritual, recuerden, esta noche nada más voy a hacer un video en inglés, pero siempre lo tengo en mente. Mañana es otro día de trabajo. Un día, algunos en inglés, algunos en español, siempre, porque este es un canal bilingüe, gracias a Dios. Así que esperen otro video que les voy a hacer, pero espero que entiendan lo más que puedan entender de hacer en esto, porque los enlaces que voy a mandar también son en inglés, obviamente, para que usted vea en los tiempos ridículos. Pero ¿qué pasa? El ridiculismo ha sido aceptado como algo razonable. Cuando usted dice, oh, eso es ridículo, lo ven a usted como que usted está loco. O sea, estamos viviendo como decían, como Cristo mismo decía en su tiempo, ¿no? Cuando Él vivió físicamente, ¿qué dijo? Mi reino no es de este mundo, por eso. Porque este mundo está muriendo todos los días. Porque a la muerte se ha entregado. Inclusive celebramos el Día de los Muertos, ¿no? Oh, pero nos sorprendemos cuando, espérate, hasta le llevamos comida a los muertos. ¿Te das cuenta lo oído de mente que estamos? Estamos idos de mente, mi gente. Porque eso es lo que el diablo quiere. Recuerde que el espíritu está aquí. Por eso cuando uno muere, muere dos veces. Muere, es un proceso. Muerte del corazón, que el corazón se para. Obviamente no hay circulación en el cuerpo. ¿Ok? Bien. Pero usted sabe que cuando mantienen una persona superficialmente viva, es una máquina, ¿no? Haciendo lo que el corazón hace. Pero después también está la muerte cerebral. Así que, mi gente, por favor, lo voy a dejar. ¿Ok? So once again, my brothers and sisters, God bless and you all take care. Pero déjenme decirle algo de lo que le voy a hablar antes que se me olvide en el próximo video en español, porque eso es lo que estoy hablando acá. De cómo, por ejemplo, la alcaldesa de San Francisco ahora de repente está preocupadísima. Oh, está preocupadísima de los desamparados que están en la calle. Cuando eso ha sido un problema de hace mucho tiempo. ¿Usted sabe por qué ella está preocupadísima ahora? Porque ella además va a ayudar a una gente. Escuche. Y usted verá la prueba. Si usted lo entiende, los medios de noticias que yo se los voy a enviar. ¿Usted sabe por qué ella está preocupadísima? Porque ella quiere proteger a los transgéneros que están en la calle. O sea, en otras palabras, esos son los únicos seres humanos que valen la pena salvar. El diablo tiene que salvarlo de él. El diablo cuida lo de él, ¿no? Ahora ella está preocupada y tiene un plan, dice. Para los transgéneros. Así que yo le pido a los que están en la calle en San Francisco que se pongan una peluca y digan que se sienten mujer para que puedan ser ayudados. Y un vestido también. ¿Te das cuenta? Esto va más allá del ridiculismo, mi gente. Por eso Estados Unidos ya se acabó. Todo esto el creador va a sentir placer de destruir la segunda bestia que es Estados Unidos. Recuerde, Napoleón Bonaparte le quitó el poder a la Iglesia Romana Católica en el 1798, que la Biblia nos habla que la herida mortal, que por poco la mata, y tuvo sin poder por 131 años, hasta que llegó Mussolini hizo trato con ella, facilitó en el tratado de ¿qué? Lateral en 1929. Pero ¿qué nación iba subiendo mientras ella estaba muerta? Estados Unidos. ¿Ok? Así que ya se lo he hablado últimamente. Son dos bestias. La primera, la Iglesia Romana Católica, y la segunda, Estados Unidos. Y si tú vives por la espada, morirá por la espada. Y Estados Unidos la debe en mucho. Como le dije, Hiroshima y Nagasaki, personas yendo a sus trabajos, los niños yendo a las escuelas, mi gente. Y de repente viene el avión ese, Enola Gay, y destruye, mata a cientos de miles de personas en un abrir y cerrar de ojos por la bomba atómica. El único país en usar la bomba atómica. ¿Ok? Y eso sin contar el aborto, la guerra de Vietnam, la guerra de Corea, la guerra de Irak. En Vietnam murieron 2.3 millones de vietnamitas. En Irak murieron inocentemente, no tenían nada que ver con nada, basado en una mentira, pero que nos sorprende, porque la familia Bush es satánica, pertenece a un grupo, eso está confirmado, eso es público, a una organización que se llama Skull and Bones, que sale de la Universidad de Yale, a donde ellos fueron, a una legión masónica. Todos los presidentes de Estados Unidos siempre han sido masónicos. Que Dios me lo bendiga hoy, mañana y siempre. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, you all have a good night. God bless you. And once again, do not forget the links that I will send you. Y'all take care.